Today we are learning list. You might be thinking, what the hell is list? Why the only Python has it? And what we can do with a list? I will give you all the answer to your question. So stay tuned for that. The list is a simple data structure. A data structure is just a formal way to organize some data. It is that simple. Even though some data structure can get intensely complex, all they are is just a way to store facts inside a program, so you can understand them in a different ways. The list is like array. If you have some programming background, then you know what is the array. If you don't know, then it is very difficult to understand. No, I'm just kidding. If you are a beginner, then it is okay. Anyone can understand this simple concept of a list because it is so easy. Right now you are thinking, you said list is data structure. Now you are saying array. It is so confusing. We are not getting anything. Just remember one thing, list is just a data container which wrapped in a square brackets. Even though you are not getting this, then let's find out what is a list. List is exactly what the name says, a container of things that are organized in order of first to last. It's not complicated, you are just have to learn a new syntax. First, here how you make a list. Just type here is equal to square brackets open, quotes, type brown in between, comma, again quotes, blonde, comma, quotes, red, and close the square brackets. Just type another one, eyes is equal to square brackets open, brown, comma, quotes open, blue, green, square brackets close. Try another one. Weight is equal to 20, 32, 43, 49. You can see here in here's and eyes we use quotes because it is string, and in weights it is the integer, that's why we are not using quotes. If we use quotes, then it get converted into string. You start the list with the left bracket which opens the list. Then you put each item you want in the list, separated by commas. Lastly, end the list with a right bracket to indicate that's over. Python then takes this list and all it contains and assigns them to a variable. Now let's look visually after this cool transition. Now you can see my hands, some cutout papers and some candy. And you might be thinking, what is he trying to do? Okay, now I show you some demonstrations, so focus. You can start or declare list by using a open square brackets or left square brackets. Then you add an item you want in a list and separate by commas. And lastly, end the list with a right bracket. This is the way, just like Mandalorian says. If you don't know Mandalorian what is, then just Google it. If you don't want to Google it, then just listen carefully. He is from Star Wars franchises, who never show his face to people and always fight for justice. I am going to tell you some secret about him. He loves Baby Yoda than anything. If you already watched it, then tell me in the comments which one is your favorite part. Now let's back to the list. What kind of operation you can do with a list? In the list, you can do append, insert, remove, extend, pop, index, count, reverse operation. Let's see one by one. What is the append method? You can add an element to end of a list. Now we are going to create a list. You can name it after anything, like your girlfriend's name or your boyfriend's name, or it can be your ex. But name should be meaningful. You cannot use name like IJK, ABC or XYZ because it is not a good practice. Now let's take an example. Right now we have different types of candy, so we will give a name to the list is candy. Okay, done. Now open square brackets and add the name of your first candy. Then add comma. Then another name. Again comma. Repeat it again and again until you finish it. Now we want to append list. Then just type candy.append coconut and hit run. Your list is appended at the end of the list. Append method is only useful for single element. But what if you want to add multiple elements in your list? Then you need to use extend method. You can just type candy.extend and pass a list which you want to add. Then hit run and you're good to go. Now you can see your new extended list at the end. We talked a lot about an adding element in a list, but what if you want to remove an element? Just type remove. It is that simple. Remove is used for removing any element you want to remove from the list. You need to type candy.remove in bracket mangoes and hit run. Mango is removed successfully. The pop method is used to remove and return the element at a given index. You need to type candy.pop2. 2 is nothing but the index number of an element. Then it will remove the element from index 2 and show you which one is removed. Now let's talk about next method, index. If the list is so long and you don't have time to count, then use index method. Just type candy.index. If list contain repeated items or duplicate items within, then count method is very useful. If you want to know which element is repeated again in the list, then just type candy.countMango. Now you will get the repetition number. The next method and the last method is reverse. If you want to reverse the whole list, then just use reverse. It is that simple. I'll show you how it is done. Okay, now type candy.reverse and hit run. The whole list is reversed. That's all about list. Just play with it. Even though you're not able to understand this concept, then you have some problems. Please show it to doctors. I know this is a bad joke. I think I am very bad at jokes. I should learn how to crack a jokes. I will learn jokes and you learn list. Today we are talking about tuples in Python. Some people like to call Tuple and some people like to call Tuple. You can call it whatever you want, but I like to call tuple. This is one of the data structure in Python that breaks the law of nature, that is law of conservation. Because in tuple, what happens is that we can create them but we can't destroy them. The law of conservation to tuple like, am I joke to you? Tuples are like a list, but unlike list, we cannot modify them. I know some of you guessed it right. If you guessed it right, then comment down below. If you not guessed it, then it's okay. Tuples are immutable. We can create them, but we can't destroy them. You can think of tuple as a immutable list. The structure of tuples look like this. Numbers is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I print this, Python is going to say here's your tuples that contain 1 to 8 items. If I try to add or update in tuple, then it will produce error. But if you want to access it, you can do that like a list using index number. For example, I want to access the number 5 from this number tuple. Then I'm gonna type print numbers and the index number of 5 is 4. And if I run this, then Python is going to say 5. You can also use in method to find out item is present or not. For example, I have this tuple called fruit, and in that tuple I have apple, banana and cherry, and I want to find out the apple is present or not. So I'm gonna type apple in fruits, and if I run this, then Python is going to say true, the apple is present in this fruit tuple. It will return the boolean value, that is, for this example, that is true. So let's take an example like papaya is present in fruits or not, and if I run this, then Python is going to say false, the papaya is not present in that fruit tuple, so output is false. So you might be thinking why we need tuple. So answer is that if you don't need to change the list, that makes things easier, because it tells other programmers looking for your code this should not be changed, and it is less flexible than a list. The one thing good about tuple is that it is more faster than list. Let's take a real world example. Like if you are creating game like GTA and you want to set the coordinates of your maps, and you want to save that coordinates in a list, but you don't want to change that coordinates because coordinates are permanent, they can't be changed. So I'm gonna use tuples like this. So we know tuples are immutable, so we can't change them. In dictionary we've seen if we use list as a key, it will give us an error. For example, dict1 is equal to curly braces list 1, 2, 3, and this is list. And if I print out dict1, then you can see here it will give me error. The error is type error because we used key as a list. Because lists are mutable, we can change them using index numbers. So key should be immutable. So we can use tuples like 1, 2, 3 like this. If I run this, then Python is going to say, hey, your dictionary is ready. That contain this tuple, the name and this integer. Because tuples are immutable, we can use them as a key in a dictionary. Like a list, in tuples we have some methods. In tuple you can also slice them like a list. For example, tup is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I want to slice from this 1 to 6. Then I'm gonna type print tup, and the slicing number is 1 up to 6. The 1 is for start and 6 is for end. If I run this, then Python is going to say your slicing is ready, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can also slice single item, like if you want to only this item 3, you can type print tup and the index number, that is 2 to 3. And if I run this, then Python is going to say 3 and comma. I know the output is weird. When you request for single item to be sliced, then it returns with comma. We can do things like a list with the tuples. For example, I have these variables apple, banana and cherry, and I'm gonna assign them with numbers, like for apple is 1, for banana is 2, and for cherry it's 3. And I want to print number 2, then I'm gonna type print banana. And if I run this, then Python is going to say this is number 2, because we assign banana to number 2. We can also access them like print apple and print cherry. And if I run this, then Python is going to say 213, because for banana is 2, for apple is 1, and for cherry is 3. If you have some items in your tuples like this, and these are not assigned with this variable, so and you still want to print out this 4 and 5, then you can do like this and print other. And if I run this, then Python is going to say 213 and 4 5. 2 is for banana, 1 is for apple, 3 is for cherry, and 4 5 is for other. And you can see here the output is in the form of list. Fun part about tuple is that it only has two methods that we care about. The number one is count. For example, tup is equal to 1 to 7 items. For example, I have this tuple and I want to count the duplicate items from it. For example, tup dot count number 5. If I run this, then Python is going to say you have only one duplicated item in your tuple. If I add another 5 in it, and if I run this again, then Python is going to say you have 2 duplicated items. Like a list, you can use index. For example, index tup index, and I want to know the index of number 3, and if I run this, then Python is going to say the index of number 3 is 2. If you want to count the length of your tuple, then you can type print len and the name of your tuple, that is tup. And if I run this, then Python is going to say 8, because we have 8 items present in this tuple. Just remember, they are simply lists that are immutable. What's up everybody, CP here. Welcome back to yet another Python tutorial. In this video we are going to learn about my favorite data structure, and it is dictionary. It is also called as dict. I know it sounds weird. If I unconsciously pronounce something else, please forgive me. Before we get into dictionary, first learn about none. So what is none? As name suggests, it is none. If you have variable like weapon and you don't want to use now, then you can name it none. And if I run this, then Python is going to say none. So basically it does nothing. So what is dictionary? Dictionary is a container like a list, but in list there are some limitations. But in dictionary we can add multiple items like list, integer, string, float. You can also add boolean value also. In other programming language it is also called as hash table, map, or objects. In Python it is called dict. So syntax is dict1 is equal to key colon values. But remember one thing, when you declare a key, you have to put that key in a string like this, and so it is in string, so we also gonna wrap this value in a string. So this is the basic structure of dictionary. You can also add multiple values like list, boolean, integer, float. So let's take an example. We seen in list we use square brackets, and in dictionary we use curly braces, and also use this colon to assign this value to the key. So what is key? Key is a string for us to grab the value. Example, I have some numbers like num1 colon 1 comma, I forgot to convert this into string, num2 colon 2 comma and num3 colon 3. If I want to access num2, then I'm gonna type print numbers, the name of dictionary, and then the key name which we want to print. So in this case I want num2, and you have to type num2 exactly like this with these quotation marks. And if I run this, then Python is going to say the value of num2 is 2. So I tell you, we can store boolean values in it. So bool is equal to bool colon true, and we can also store list. So list colon square brackets, and in list I'm gonna store 10 comma 20 comma 30. If I want to access this 30 number from this key, then I'm gonna type list and the index number of that 30. So in this case it is 2. If I run this, and you can see here the output is 30. We can also use key name as a booleans like true is equal to bool, and I can also replace the key with numbers or integers like 12 int, and it is gonna work totally fine. If I run this, there is no error. But when you gonna use key as a list, then it will give you error, because the key name should be immutable, that cannot be changed. In this case 12 is not gonna change, this boolean value true is not gonna change, this num2 is not gonna change, but we can change the list items using index numbers. So don't use key name as a list. So these all are the advantages of the dictionary. But when we store dictionary in memory, it stores like an order key value pair. It means they are not right to next to each other in memory like a list. If I have 1000 items of dictionary, and if I'm gonna print that dictionary, so that dictionary will not get printed in order. They will print as the memory locations because they scattered all around memory. In this example, if I run this, then it is not gonna print out in an order. So here's the fun thing, we can add that dictionary in a list. It sounds confusing, so let's try. Like list 1 is equal to square brackets and then add dictionary in it. I'm gonna just copy paste this list because I am lazy like you. Control V, and the list is copied successfully. And if I print this list, then Python is going to say, here's your list that contain dictionary in it. If you want to access this boolean value, you can also access them using index numbers, because we access list using index. Square brackets, index number is 0, and the key value is true. T is in uppercase. And if I run this, then the output is bool, and that is the value of true. You might be thinking, in Python there are lots of data structure and they work same. So which one to use? So it's depend on you. For example, game is equal to curly braces user name, it must be in quotes like this, and use colon and the name of user madrox, and and which weapon he has. So he has sniper, and how much bullets in that sniper, that is 20 bullets are remaining. And what is the kills? So the game is just started, so the value is 0. In this case we have lots of data and it is all are in different types, so we use dictionary. Use list when you want to store similar items like name of the team, like name of team members, like Madrox, comma, Vera. In list we usually store single value items like this. In this case we use string, and in dictionary we use everything like string, boolean and integer. Before we close the video, just remember one thing: dictionary has no order, it is an order key value pair, and list is simply an index in sorted form, and it contains single values. Thanks so much for watching. Today we are talking about last data structure in Python, that is set. So what is set? Well, simply put, it is a collection. First we specify a common property among things, and then we gather up all things that have common properties. For example, the item you wear, hat, shirt, jacket, pants, or so on. I'm sure you could come up with at least 100. This is known as a set, or another example is type of fingers. This set includes index, middle, ring and pinky finger. So it is just a thing grouped together with a certain property in common. The structure of set looks like this. You can put values in it like 1, 2, 3 separated by comma. If I print set, then Python is going to say you have a set that contains 4 items, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. If I add 4 again in set and run it again, then output is different, because in set duplicate element 4 is not gonna come when we run the code, because in set everything should be unique. If you want to add elements in your set, you can do that using add methods. For example, set.add 45, and I'm gonna add another number in it, add 2. If I run this, then Python is going to say 1, 2, 3, 4 and 45. So you might be thinking why 2 is not printed, because in set everything should be unique, so 2 is not gonna print again. In set we have lots of methods, so let's see one by one. As you can see here, I have 2 sets on my screen. The first one is ARG and the second one is Vera. ARG and Vera are my best buds, both are gamers. ARG also has a YouTube channel. If you want gaming video for your content, then you can use those videos for free. I will put a link of that channel in the description. So back on topic. ARG likes all kind of games like Battle Royale and also racing games, and Vera only like Battle Royale games or action games. So I have to find what is the difference between ARG and Vera. So I'm gonna use difference method. For example, ARG dot difference and Vera, and let's print it out. Print using print function. If I run this, then Python is going to say the difference between ARG and Vera game is Forza Horizon Grid, F1 and Asphalt, and also NFS. It is going to find the difference of the first ARG with Vera, so any duplicated between them get ignored and it only shows the difference, that is Forza Horizon Grid, F1 and Asphalt 8 and NFS. If you want to remove an element from your set, you can do that using discard. For example, arg.discard GTA5. And let's print out arg. If I run this, you can see here the GTA5 is removed successfully. The next method is difference update. So what it does is that remove all the elements of the another set from this set. For example, arg.difference update Vera, and I'm gonna print arg. And if I run this, then Python is going to say grid F1 FS for the horizon and asphalt line. The differences are removed and it is also get modified. You might be thinking, what is the difference between difference and difference update? When we use difference, it is going to find the difference of the first arg with Vera, so any duplicate between them gets ignored and it only shows the difference, that is grid for the horizon, F1, NFS and asphalt line. And when we use difference update, let's print out the arg. And if I run this again, then you can see here the output is same, but the arg set got modified. I know it sounds confusing. Let's print out arg here, then you will get this, what is happening here. So you can see here, when the difference method operation is finished and we print out arg, the list is as it is. And when we use difference update method, the list got modified. It only contained for the horizon, NFS, F1 grid and asphalt line in it. So the difference got removed from the set arg. The next method is intersection. So what intersection does is that it just has intersection with something else. For example, print arg dot intersection with Vera. If I run this, then Python is going to say the intersection between them is Apex Legend, PUBG, Doom, Dota, Tomb Raider, Fortnite, COD and GTA 5. That's the intersection between Vera and arg, the common things. The next method is disjoint. Is disjoint means this set has nothing in common. For example, print arg dot is disjoint Vera. If I run this, then Python is going to say false, because in these two sets we have lots of common things like the action games and battle royale games like GTA, COD, PUBG, Fortnite and Dota. That's why the answer is false. The next method is union. Union just unites this set together but removes the duplicates. For example, print arg dot union Vera. If I run this, then you can see here the all elements that present in arg and Vera got combined, but the duplicate item are got removed, and it is also returns the new set for us. You can do the same thing using this key. If I run this, then you can see here the output is same. And if I run this, then Python is going to tell us what is the intersection between arg and Vera. Okay, the next method is subset. In subset, it checks the first set is subset of second set. For example, print subset of Vera. If I run this, then Python is going to say false, because arg is not subset of Vera. But if I switch the place of Vera and arg like this, and if I run this again, then output is true, because all the elements are present in Vera that are also present in ARG. That's why it is a subset of Vera. And the last method is superset. Each superset checks the given sets are superset or not. For example, print ARG dot is superset of Vera. If I run this, then Python is going to say true, because ARG is superset of Vera. So that's kind of stuff you can do with a set methods. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button if you like this video. Smash the subscribe button if you aren't already. And I will see you guys in the next one.